Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Marianne Go and I am a gynecologist by profession. And for today's training video, we will be talking about women's health and we will focus more on the menstrual hygiene and the menstrual cycle. So let's talk about one of the most common girl problems during our menstrual cycle. So as you can see in the picture, we see different types of symptoms. Meron tayong mga babae na nagkakaroon ng dysmenorrhea, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga unusual cravings sa salts or sweets, and sometimes low lang talaga ang ating energy. And of course, it's important that we understand our menstrual cycle or our menstruation so that apart from feeling comfortable, it will also prevent magkaroon ng mga illnesses, more so infections. So of course, importante sa atin bilang mga babae at even sa mga kalalakihan na may mga partners, mga magulang or mga kapatid na maintindihan kung ano nga ba talaga ang menstruation at ano ba ang mga nangyayari during the menstrual cycle. So basically, it's a natural part of the feminine reproductive cycle which happens at least once a month until menopause. And there are different phases of the menstrual cycle. We have the menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. So sa mga terms na to na nakikita natin, ang importante lang is for us to know better or understand better kung ano ba yung mga nangyayari sa ating anatomy, sa system ng mga babae, and more importantly, sa mood. Ano ba yung mga changes that happens during the specific cycle in the period. So first, we will talk about the menstrual phase. So simple lang naman. So if there is no pregnancy, what happens is that our lining gets shed off and comes out of the body in a form of menstrual cycle. So ano yung nangyayari dito? Sometimes, women would experience menstrual cramps. Sometimes, there would be mood swings that actually affects the energy or the mood sa particular day na yon. The next would be yung tinatawag nating follicular phase. Ito yung basically yung maraming hormones na nag-i-interplay para mag-form ng mga follicles that will eventually develop into a mature follicle. So sa part na to ng menstrual cycle, it is important to take note that ang energy natin might increase and some women may also experience different changes in the mood and sometimes meron ding iba na nagkakaroon ng mga unusual menstrual cramps. And then, towards the latter part of the menstrual cycle, we have here the ovulation, wherein dito yung mga tinatawag nating mga wet days. So sometimes women would experience increase in the basal body temperature. So parang feeling sila na mainit, medyo parang feeling nila they have lagnat. And then sometimes when we look at the character of the vaginal discharge, it's more mucoid and stretchy. And then towards the latter part is the luteal phase, which basically leads to another cycle of menstruation if there will be no pregnancy. So again, let's talk about the menstrual health. So again, the typical cycle ranges from 21 to 35 days and the bleeding would usually last for about 7 days. And then ano nga ba yung nangyayari kapag may mga irregular periods? Sometimes, yun yung parang may mga babae na naglalakdaw ng menses sa isang buwan or napapansin nila na yung usual mga 3 to 7 days naging 1 to 2 days na lang or even the amount kumukonti. Ano ba yung mga common causes nito? Pwedeng number 1, stress. So very common yan sa atin ngayon. Very common ang stress na nakaka-affect not just in our health but also in our menstrual cycle. Ito yung mga different fluctuations sa timbang. Yung biglang paglaki ng timbang or pagbigat ng timbang. At yung iba, if we have simultaneous medical conditions. So ito yung mga conditions na nagkukos ng mga irregularities sa cycle natin. Okay, so sa mga amount, sa menstrual products, so importante na alam natin kung ano yung suitable for our lifestyle and our preference. So it's important to note that there are several available menstrual products to address different needs of a woman, depende din sa lifestyle. So we have mga pads, mga tampons, and even menstrual cups that are very popularly used during our menstrual period. But we know that very popular, especially what I encounter in my own practice, is that most of the women I have in the clinic would still use the conventional menstrual pads. Okay. So, did you know na sa ating country, in the Philippines, according to the WHO's Global Cancer Observatory, ang cervical cancer ay one of the most leading causes of mortality worldwide, and in the Philippines is the second leading cause of cancer. And in 2020, it was noted that it's around the 6th most common type of cancer overall sa ating country. And there are noted 7,897 new cases, and actually it's counting. With the advent of increase in screening and consultation, mas tumataas pa po ang cases ng cervical cancer. And did you know that the cervical cancer is actually the 4th most common cancer among women? Alright, so now let's talk about the different types of skin rashes. So, an estimated 0.7% of skin rashes comes from different allergic reactions sa mga sanitary pads po na available, even locally. So, ano ba yung mga causes na yan? Una, kapag nagkakaroon ng friction. So, since it's in direct contact with the skin, very common yung nagkakaroon tayo ng friction, lalo na for those women who have a really active lifestyle. Another would be with the presence of heat and moisture, and we know in our country, medyo humid, medyo warm, so sometimes it's really an issue or cause of concern. Others naman, when it comes to adhesive, yung pinakadikit dun sa mga certain sanitary pads, na we are actually not aware about the ingredient of that adhesive, not knowing that can actually cause mga allergic reactions, or more commonly known as mga contact or allergic contact dermatitis. Okay. One of the most common concern also would be yung pong pagkakaroon ng hindi magandang amoy or yung unpleasant odor. Ano ba yung mga common causes niyan? Again, since sa baba po natin, sa intimate parts natin, it's really warm, it's really moist, and sometimes in addition to sweat o yung pagpapawis, it can actually promote bacterial growth, and yun po yung nagkakaroon ng mga usual unpleasant smell. And of course, it is important na if na-note po natin na meron tayong mga ganitong napapansin sa ating pong mga intimate parts, that we need to seek consult with a professional or with your gynecologist para malaman if meron pong infection or wala. Okay, so ano po yung mga common diseases sa reproductive tract natin? So number 1 is the infection. And do you know that is one of the major public health concerns worldwide, particularly sa mga low-income settings? So again, ang isa sa mga napansin po o ang naitala na most common cause nito ay ang mga unhygienic menstrual practices. And this is very sad kasi very common to if there is lack of education sa mga lugar. Okay, next is the UTI or yung po tinatawag na urinary tract infection na nakaka-affect po sa mga kababaihan around 50 to 60% of the time. It is actually the 3rd most common cause of morbidity in the Philippines. And ano po yung mga most of the common causes? Yan, so doon na nga po pumapasok yung mga infrequent changes of mga sanitary pads, yung iba po na mga unhygienic practices, and yun pong mga regular pads na nakakapag-trap po ng moisture. So, syempre, if meron pong moisture, may stasis po ng bacteria, ito po yung pinakapagkain ng bacteria. Kaya nagkakaroon po tayo ng mga unpleasant odor, then eventually it will lead to an infection, and then concomitantly, pwede rin po magkaroon ng mga UTI or yun po urinary tract infection. So, did you know na karamihan po sa mga napkins worldwide ay meron actually na mga toxic chemicals, particularly sa mga adhesives nila. So, this is something of course na hindi po tayo aware, but in the long run, habang ginagamit po siya, minsan nagtataka po tayo bakit ako nagkakaroon allergic reaction, saan ang galing yung pamumula, saan ang gagaling yung pangangati, not knowing that this is because of the products or the nature of the chemicals na nandun po sa mismong menstrual pads. And as you can see in the screen, ito po yung mga different types of toxins na pwede pong present sa ating mga menstrual pads. So, let's talk about K-pads and why is it actually the best option for you guys? Okay, so K-pads actually, we have the 3 variants. We have the ones na regular, for regular red days. Then we also have the overnights wherein we can use that kapag talagang more on the heavy days po tayo. And then of course we have the liner. And in the liner, what I like about it is that it encompasses different age groups, no? If you want to use it like on a daily basis, or for those who are already into perimenopause or menopause, if they just want or more comfortable using a pad, then it is something that we can actually recommend. And then, what I like and what I am so proud about this product is that it actually offers 8 layers of protection. So as you can see on your screen, so these are yung mga ultra soft cotton, air-laid paper, release paper. The materials are breathable. It's made of a breathable film, so it has good absorbency rate. And I just would like to highlight the characteristic of this pad. It's very unique, which makes it unique and sets apart from other brands or other types of menstrual pads that are available locally, and that would be the presence of the anion or the negative ion strip. And did you know that the presence of an ion, based on some journals, can actually have an effect on the mood or in the immune system? So we know po when we have our red days or when we have our menses, that our energy is somewhat low. na parang sometimes we are anxious, we are stressed, and then with the help of an ion from the menstrual products that we use, it can actually elevate the mood and lessen the stress and anxiety during our periods. Okay, so what I like about the K-pads, apart from yung pong air protection o layers of protection niya, is also how it looks physically from the outside. So as you can see, the packaging is very nice. It looks really pleasant, and it's very subtle. It doesn't really look like a menstrual pad. So it is something that when you like put it out from your bag, na parang, oy, na-identify na talagang menstrual pad siya. So it is also made up of resealable aluminum foil. So basically, it offers hygienic storage. It has actually a vaginal health self-test kit that is usually not present po sa iba po nating mga napkins. So this is actually a kit that's available in each pack, wherein it can actually tell if there is an ongoing inflammation or infection at that time na napansin niyo po na may abnormality sa discharge. Another one, again, as I would like to highlight, yung pong presence ng mga active oxygen and the negative ion that actually helps with elevation of the mood and actually boosts our immune system. And it's also made organically. Okay, again, K-pads can be absorbed rapidly by the skin. As far as the active oxygen is concerned, it's proven to be non-toxic because all the different layers are made up of organic materials, and it can be thin, but you will be surprised now once you use it, it's very absorbable, highly absorbent. So, as an OB gynecologist, we encounter patients' questions in the clinic na, so, Doc, why should we shift to K-pads, or why should we use K-pads over other brands available in the market? So what makes it special? Again, as I have mentioned kanina, it is made up of 8 layers of protection. The ultra-soft cotton, the air-laid paper, the dry cover, everything is breathable, organic, and what I like about it, it is made up of, it has the anion strip, which eliminates unpleasant odor. So nanoneutralize po niya yung unpleasant odor during red days. Na sometimes parang iniisip natin baka may infection when in fact, it's just actually parang old blood na nagiging breeding grounds for infection. And then, the next question would be, does K-pads contain chemical or fragrances that might cause irritation? The answer would be no, because it is made up of non-toxic material and it is designed to prevent skin irritation and rashes. So how effective is K-pads in controlling odor and moisture? So it's very effective because of the ion strip and then the presence of the oxygen po na nagsusuppress ng pag-multiply ng mga bacteria at ng mga viruses. Okay, in what way does the thickness or bulk of the napkin impact your comfort? So personally, or based on some of my patients, the most common concern would be parang, Doc, is there like a menstrual pad or menstrual product that we can use because we have an active lifestyle, we work out very frequently, and they're somewhat very concerned or they're specific about the type of menstrual pad. Baka inisip nila if it's manipis, hindi siya ganun ka-absorbent. So this is basically one of the good traits of the K-pads is that even if it's thin, it is highly absorbent and actually prevents leakage during our periods. So the next question would be, how does the brand stand out from the competitors? So compared to the traditional sanitary napkins, what I like about the K-pads, as I have mentioned, is that it offers 8 layers of protection. It has superior absorbency, and then again, it has my favorite, the active oxygen and the negative ions or the anion, which actually helps enhance the circulation. It stimulates the skin cells, and then it boosts the metabolism. So the K-pads is basically ultra thin, it's breathable, and what I like about it, it is mentholated, so it has a cooling effect, so we usually feel more comfortable during our red days. So there you go, guys. I hope you learned something new today in our training video. So again, gusto ko lang i-highlight again, our K-pads has 3 variants. We have the day, we have the night, and then we have the liner. And then, again, ang important take-home sa ating video, more importantly than the terms, the definitions, is that we should learn to focus, we should educate ourselves, and we should also understand. So, intindihin nating mabuti ang about sa menstrual hygiene kasi it's a crucial part of a woman's health and feminine hygiene. So, we have to be able to manage or handle our menstrual cycle, not just physically, but psychologically and emotionally. Again, I'm Dr. Marianne Go and I am a gynecologist by profession and I hope may natutunan po tayo today.